All right, everyone. Settle in, dim the lights, and maybe grab a blanket, because tonight we're diving deep into a story that still sends shivers down my spine. This isn't just any old campfire tale. This is something that happened, or so the whispers say, in a quiet little town that preferred to keep its secrets buried. Our story begins with a young woman named Elara. She was an artist, and like many creatives, she often found inspiration in solitude. Her latest quest for muse led her to an old secluded cottage nestled deep within the Whispering Pines forest, far from the city's hustle. It was a charming place, or at least it appeared to be. Ivy clung to the stone walls, wildflowers bloomed erratically in the untamed garden, and the air itself seemed to hum with an ancient quiet. Elara saw it as a perfect sanctuary. For the first few days it was idyllic. She painted, she explored the winding forest paths, and she reveled in the profound silence. But then, the quiet started to change. It became heavy, pressing. She'd hear faint whispers carried on the wind, just at the edge of audibility, like a secret being told just out of reach. She dismissed it as the wind playing tricks, or her imagination running wild in the solitude. After all, she was a storyteller, wasn't she? But then came the dreams. Vivid, unsettling dreams. Always the same. She'd be in the cottage, but it would feel different. Older. Colder. And in the corner of her vision, a fleeting shadow, always just out of focus, always retreating. She'd wake up in a cold sweat, her heart pounding, convinced she'd seen something real. The dreams started blending into her waking hours, a flicker in her peripheral vision. A creak from the floorboards above when she knew no one was there. One evening, as dusk painted the forest in long, eerie shadows, Elara was sketching by the window. She looked up, and for a split second, she saw it clearly. A woman, dressed in what looked like old-fashioned clothes, standing at the very edge of the tree line watching the cottage. Her face was pale, her eyes deep-set, and her expression indescribably sorrowful. Elara blinked, and she was gone. Just like that, panic started to set in. This wasn't her imagination anymore. She tried to rationalize it. A lost hiker? Someone from the nearby town curious about the new resident? But the feeling of dread persisted. The next morning, determined to get answers, Elara walked to the nearest village, a quaint collection of houses a few miles down the road. She found the oldest resident, an elderly woman named Martha, tending her garden. Elara, trying to sound casual, asked about the cottage. Martha's eyes, ancient and wise, widened slightly. She paused, slowly straightened up, and looked at Elara with a profound seriousness. "Oh dear," she said, her voice a low murmur. "You're staying in the old Blackwood place, aren't you?" Elara nodded. Martha sighed, a sound that seemed to carry the weight of years. "That house, it has a history, a sad one." Martha then began to weave a tale. Generations ago, a young woman named Lillian lived in that cottage. She was deeply in love, but her beloved went off to war and never returned. Lillian, consumed by grief, spent her days waiting, gazing out into the forest, hoping to see him emerge from the trees. She wasted away, her hope turning into a quiet despair, until one day she was found gone. No one ever saw her leave, and her body was never found. But the villagers swore that her spirit lingered, forever waiting, forever watching for her lost love. "They say she never truly left that window," Martha concluded, her gaze fixed on the distant forest. "She just waited." Elara returned to the cottage, Martha's words echoing in her mind. The beautiful, secluded sanctuary now felt like a cage, a place haunted by a silent, eternal sorrow. She tried to sleep that night, but every rustle of leaves, every creak of wood felt amplified. She imagined Lillian's sad eyes watching her, a fellow inhabitant in a timeless vigil. Around midnight, a gentle tapping started at her window. Tap, tap, tap. Her heart leaped into her throat. It wasn't the wind. It was rhythmic, persistent. She forced herself to look, slowly turning her head towards the glass. The moonlight filtered through the trees, casting stark shadows, and there, pressed against the pane, was a hand. A pale, slender hand with long, delicate fingers. Elara froze, unable to move, unable to breathe. She could almost feel the cold seeping through the glass. The tapping stopped. Then, slowly, the hand began to slide down the window, leaving a faint, almost invisible smudge. As it disappeared from view, Elara finally let out a gasp she hadn't realized she was holding. She didn't sleep that night. She packed her things with trembling hands, barely waiting for dawn. She left the cottage, the art supplies, everything. She just ran, not daring to look back. She never returned to the Whispering Pines. To this day, Elara doesn't know if Lillian was trying to reach out, to share her unending grief, or if she was simply seeking companionship in her lonely wait. But the image of that hand, and the profound sadness in those unseen eyes, is something she carries with her. And sometimes, when she's alone in a quiet room, she thinks she hears a faint, distant tapping, a reminder of the secrets the old cottage still holds. What do you all think? Was it a ghost or just a trick of a creative mind pushed to its limits? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale, please hit that like button, subscribe for more spine-tingling stories, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the unknown. Thanks for watching, and remember, some stories are best left untold, but we tell them anyway. Stay spooky.